All right, I do want to say that when we were signing up for lesson plans, I volunteered for these because the DMS integrated into CD is my favorite part of this release. So I think you guys will like it. All right, let's see, we're ready. Okay, so we are on to lesson plan 40. We are going to view some documents in the document management portion of CD. Based on various different contexts, basically. So the first thing we're going to do is search for our client that we want to look at. So we're going to select search from the screen, and then we're going to select our state and service center. And our agreement, and click search. Okay, we've found our agreement, and then we're going to click on our agreement number to load it into the table of contents. Okay, so we've got our document loaded. Now notice that over in the table of contents, the part that's expanded right now is the participant. So far today when we've gone into document management, we've been selecting the agreement first and then selecting the document icon. This time we're going to leave the participant expanded. So the context we're going into when we go into document management is the participant. All right, so let's go ahead and click on our document management icon. All right, and when document management opens, you can see that in the context drop-down, we have the client selected, which is because we had the client expanded in the table of contents. Okay, so you can see the document list. We've got quite a few documents here, but one of the things that doesn't show real well in our example is one of the things that's new in this document management is that there can be up to 200 documents shown on the screen without having to without having click to go to the next page. That's a lot more than the current document management system, and I think it's one of the nicest features of this document management. So just wanted to point that out. Okay, so if we want to preview a document, preview a document, we first need to select it, and you do that in the select column by placing a check mark in front of the document you want to preview. So it looks like Heather wants to see this top one, the NRCS CPA 153. And then if you want to preview it in that kind of quick open view like you would in the current DMS, you click on the little eyeball icon. And that will open up the document preview in a pop-up window. So go ahead and do that. And there is our document. You'll notice that there's a scroll bar there where you can see the multiple pages. It shows you the title, the original file name, and the version you're looking at in that window as well, which is nice. You can print or save from here using the Adobe pop-up window if you need to. You can also click on that little Adobe swirly symbol thing to get the other view of the menu bar for Adobe. So those are things I've noticed recently that are helping my users in my state. Okay, so once we've looked at our document, we can go ahead and click the green close button. Green. It's the end of the day. That is so not green. That is totally an orange button. So click the orange button to close it. Wow. Maybe you should have let me go tomorrow, Sandy. Okay, so if you want to download a document instead of using that preview, you click on the little icon that looks like an arrow with a line under it. It's a pretty typical download symbol. Hopefully you can see where Heather's cursor is hovering there, right next to the preview eyeball. If you click on that, it's going to give you the opportunity to either open or save the document down at the bottom of your screen there. I don't think we need to actually do that. You guys know how that works. If you click open, it opens it in Adobe. If you click save, you get to choose where you want to save it. So we're going to go ahead and click cancel. If you want to view additional information about your document, you can select the action menu and use our stacked dots to get to our action menu like we have. That's where we created a new version earlier. You can also overwrite and delete documents from here if you have permission. What we want to do this time is view the additional details, which is the second one from the bottom. So go ahead and click on that. Oh, that's not in the script, sorry. And it'll show you any comments, it'll show you additional version information, etc. Okay, so you can go ahead and close that. Here I am elaborating when we're trying to hurry. All right, so to view previous versions of a document, we showed you this earlier a little bit. You click on the little tiny gray caret that's in that gray menu bar or gray bar on the left-hand side of your screen, and it'll show you the previous versions. Super nice thing about this is that if you select, if you put check marks to view both of these and then you wanted to preview them, you could actually preview both versions of the same document from right here, which is a little different than the way the current DMS works, and I think is a little nicer. All right, let's see. All right, so we're going to go back to the Actions menu, and I just talked a little bit about this, where you can click on the three dots in the Actions menu next to a document, and you can overwrite, delete. Edit document details was one that I didn't mention when we were here before. Edit document details is very similar to editing the document attributes, I think it's called in the current DMS, where you could change the participant signature type, for example, edit a document title. Those kinds of things can be done using that menu option. All right. Looks like Heather clicked that so you can see, you can enter new comments as well, and then submit your changes from here. So very similar to editing the document attributes, I think is what it's called in the current standalone document management system. All right, so the next thing we want to do is this context that we're looking at right now is showing us the client documents. So that's any document that's associated with the client. Many of the documents that are associated with the agreements related to the client, the client's conservation plans, etc. But like I said earlier, that's very similar to the client tab in the current document management. Let's go ahead and switch to the agreement context from the drop-down up at the top. And that'll give us a little bit different view of our documents. It'll filter out anything that's only associated to a plan or to a client, for example, and it's only going to show us the documents that are associated to this agreement. If there was an 1156, which it looks like there is for this one, this is one of the few places that you can see the 1156. This 1156 doesn't get shown on the other tabs, so that's one trick to know. To view documents associated with practice schedule, you select practice schedule, or select schedule, excuse me, from the context drop-down. So these are all based on the associations that you make, the data that you associate to a particular document when you upload it. It looks like we don't have any documents uploaded to this particular schedule, so there's nothing showing here. You can also add documents and view them that are associated to practices from the context menu. When you do that, it's going to ask you to pick the practice you would like to look at. So click on that drop down. All we've got is pumping plant today, so we'll go ahead and pick that. And again, there are no documents uploaded for that particular practice at this time, but that's where you would see them if they were. And that is the end of Lesson Plan 40. On to Lesson Plan 41, which is reviewing document collections. So document collections are present in the current document management system. You know, we've got the payment review document collection, obligation document review collection, and a couple other of those. A few of those have been implemented in this release of Conservation Desktop. So the document collections we have so far are related to the agreements. So we're going to go ahead and, from the context menu, select our agreement again. There we see our agreement list. And then you'll see on this tab or this view, there's this document collection drop down. So we have Heather go ahead and click on the drop down next to that. It'll show you the different collections we have available right now. Right now there are two, obligation review and pre-approved application review. So let's pick obligation review, and we'll see how that one looks. Should be very similar to the obligation review document collection that we have in the current document management system. So it organizes the documents based on agreement-related documents and participant-related documents. And again, it should allow you to see all the various signature states that you need to review for these documents. Using the little carrots next to them, and then you can do your document previews. You can select all of these documents. I don't believe there's a limit on the number of documents you can select for any particular preview. So you can go ahead and use your little check marks to select the documents you want to see, and then use the preview icon to preview them and complete your review. So the next release of Desktop will include additional document review collections, including, I believe, all of the ones that we have in the current document management system. So these are just the first two that were implemented. And the document lists that belong in these collections are the same as they are in the current document management. So there we go. Look at that. I even finished 5 minutes early. That's the end of Lesson Plan 41. I will tell you that I've done the training on this part of this release of Conservation Desktop for the users in Michigan. And the key in my state has been getting them to understand the context and which context they need to be able to see the documents that they want to see or upload the documents that they want to upload. So I've been really trying to make sure they understand that that context is very similar to the idea of the tabs in the current document management system, where you could have a client tab or a client view or an agreement view, very similar to the context that you're looking at here. So that's kind of a key that might help you when you do your training on this back in your state. And with that, I will turn it back over to Shandy.
All right. Thank